So Fred, should we start now? Or should we wait a couple minutes?
I think we're okay to start anytime, Sensei.
Okay. Is there going to be an issue if everybody has their microphones on? Is that takes up?
We could try it. There's not too many people online, so it actually might work okay.
Okay.
But if it gets bad, we'll just shut off a few of them.
Okay, because I'm going to be asking you guys questions on things. So we'll start it with all the microphones on then and go from there.
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so we'll start. So maybe turn on your microphones, please. Hey, hey. Knee. Hey. What? Okay, so we're going to do basically pivoting drills, tip action. So I don't know if is Calvin online?
Yes.
Okay, so you had a assistant last time, so I got my assistant Alfie to watch you guys. So make sure you do good technique and don't fool around or anything. Okay, so we're going to work on pivoting drills without planting your hips first. So it's basically an exercise to rotate around. So if you can watch me, I don't know if I can show you. Okay. Go back. We'll be in Zenku Sadach, left foot. You can watch me first. And what we're going to do is pivot 90 degrees, but we're going to come into this setup position first. So we're going to go counterclockwise with our right foot back. So when we draw our back foot in, we want to keep that knee over the toes. Okay. So when we come in, we're going to just pivot and then back. Try not to stop here or stop here. You want to get a nice smooth motion. As soon as you pull in and pivot, then go back and keep that knee forward. So the key is not to lean forward, not to pause. You want to get a nice smooth motion. So the momentum of your right hip coming forward will help you pivot turn. Okay, so just work on that with the left foot forward and you're pivoting 90 degrees. And if you have any questions, just ask me. So Lena, good. Try you're pausing just slight here before you go back. Try to make it a nice smooth motion from there. Okay. Okay, so the slower you pull your leg in and pivot, and the slower you go back. So you want to try to match the same speed. So if you pull in slowly and then back, it's more difficult, but it actually works better. Okay, the quicker you go, obviously there's more hip action, but you want to work on balance and especially your supporting foot to get the strength in your supporting foot so you're able to pivot slowly, nice and smooth. So the exercise is eventually to go as slow as possible, pulling in, pivot, and back to make it look like one motion without moving the knees. Okay, so keep on working on that. so if you feel comfortable with that, try to see which direction I want to go. If you can see me. So still with your left foot, and you want to bring your right foot in. So you're coming in 180 degrees. So when you come in to here, then pivot, bang, out in position. Okay, try that. When you're doing any of these turns, try to keep your upper body still. So initially, you're maybe in this position, right, in here. Then what you can try, Calvin was showing, so your shoulders are square, you can do this way, that position, or in Kamae. But the main thing is you don't want to use your upper body and move your hands all over the place. You want to keep it still. So whatever position, either Seikensky, whatever, you want to hold that position. So it's only your lower body that's doing the movement for now. Okay, so the reason why I picked Zengsudachi rather than half long stance or something like that is I want you to get into that nice classical long stance. And too bad Mike's not here, or Chris or Marissa, but because they do, I didn't want to say it in person to them, but you know, Shotokan and Wado, they do really good Zengsudachi. Okay, so I want Goju people to match them, but don't tell them that I said Shotokan and Wado have really good Zengsudachi. Okay, so we want to get nice and long and stretch that back half. Okay, and then when you come in, bang, position, in that position. Okay, you know, a little more challenging. See if you can go 360, or not 360, 270, 3/4 of the way around without using your upper body.
Yeah.
So, Lena, are you cheating and you're standing on something that pivots because you did nice 270 degree. I want you to try 360 and see if you can do 360. Try it, and everybody else try 360 if you can. Oh, this is just an exercise, like I said. But if you can at least do a 180, possibly a 270, with the same amount of movement, bring your legs in and out, nice and smooth, and staying in your good stance. That means your supporting foot is really good. Okay, I want you to try with your right foot forward. Same thing, and This time when you bring your left foot in, from here, go clockwise, same thing. So try 90 degrees, 180, 270, and then if you want to challenge yourself, 360. The same thing goes, keep that knee over the toes, keep your upper body still. Okay, so one thing I see every so often is that front knee tends to get a little bit back a little bit. You want it pushing forward. You want that knee forward as much as possible, over the toes, and not necessarily the ball of the foot. You want to really push it out. What's that going to do is actually going to strengthen it's working your quad muscles on your supporting foot from here. And then when you're actually more quicker, you'll put your weight on the ball of the foot, which is acceptable. But if you're trying to do it with control, try to keep that knee forward. I'm pushing for it. I can feel that stretch in the back half. I can feel my quad working. And then when I come in from here, there's no difference in the tension on my quad. I still feel that quad working and still the same. There's no difference from here. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, this time what we're going to do is we're going to do the same basic turns, except we're going to start off with the right foot back again. And then when we're going to pivot, we're not going to pivot counterclockwise. We're going to pivot clockwise this time. So remember, you're doing it here counterclockwise with the right leg back. Now we're going to do it clockwise. Same thing. Do that. And then with the left leg, what we did was we were going clockwise. Now go counterclockwise. So just change the direction. And do all the different degrees, 180, 270. Randy, try that one more time. And when you, yeah, so when you pull your leg and it's touching the other leg and you pivot, try not to, once you pivot 90 degrees, don't put a slight pause. Just as soon as your hips are facing 180 degrees, then draw your leg back. So it's a nice smooth motion. So try that again. Yeah, still a little bit of a pause. So pull it in, pivot, and then pull your leg back. So you want it all one smooth motion. Yeah, good. Good, good. And then once you got that, then the key is to slow it down a little bit and still keep that one motion. But you were doing it one motion there, so that's good. And I don't know if you tried it with the other leg forward. You know, try left leg and right leg and everything. Okay, good. So the key to this exercise is to do it with control and don't do it in like step motions. You want to do it all in one motion. You start off a little bit quick so you can get your pivot and pull your leg back or forward, whatever the case may be. But then eventually you want to go slower and slower. Does anybody know the music Enya? You know Enya? Fred knows Enya. Anna, do you know Enya? Who doesn't know Enya? Who doesn't know Enya? Oh, Matthew and Randy. Okay. Alexa, play Enya music.
Shuffling songs by Enya on Amazon Music.
Alexa, louder music.
You'd like to hear some louder, right? Why can't you find any louder?
I don't know if you can hear that. Music louder. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that? Music, Alexa, music louder. Hear that? So if you can do these turns to Enya, then you're pretty good. Okay, so pick the slow music. Alexa, music off. Okay, so I have a question. Let's try the with the right leg back. Okay, you're going to be pivoting. The first time I said when your right leg is back, you pivot counterclockwise. And the second time I said clockwise. Is there any difference you felt in the turns? Okay. You might not feel it in the 90-degree turns, but try the 180. And if you want to comment, yeah, you can comment. Try the bigger degrees. Any difference?
it's harder when you cross over.
Crossover in terms of, so the second way or the first way, Calvin? So the counterclockwise or the clockwise way?
If I'm left foot forward,
Yep.
It's a bit harder to return.
Oh, yeah. But when you return, which way are you returning? You're turning clockwise?
Yes.
Because you reset? Instead of going clockwise each time, I think you were going clockwise and then you returned counterclockwise. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Return. Why is that?
And you're going clockwise or whichever way you weren't going before?
Yeah. You know why? In the 90-degree turns, you might not feel it, but what the 180, maybe the 270, you should feel a little bit of a difference. And with the right leg back, by going clockwise, should be a little bit more difficult. Should be. Because when you're going counterclockwise, your right hip is actually back slightly. So now you're pulling your hip forward, and that momentum helps you turn. Okay? So if you're going 180, your hips are going this way, and then it continues on, and right. If you're doing it clockwise, your right hip is back here, and then all of a sudden you want to go this way. Okay, so it should be slightly difficult. Not as much, but this should be more natural, going this way or going this way or going that way, because you're using a little bit of hips. Okay, might not be a big difference, but you should try to feel that position. So anytime you're using one hip, and in this case it's the right hip, and it's going forward, but it's actually going a little bit on a diagonal, you can use that energy to go. Okay, so you can also use this exercise. We did it with the back foot pulling in, but you can also do it with the front foot pulling in. When you do the front foot pulling in, that hip is going that way, so it's easier to turn this way as opposed to pulling in. And so try it with the front foot 90-degree turns. You might be able to feel it a little bit more prominent to turn. Okay. Okay, so you can take a quick water break, and come right back. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Sensei,
Yes.
are we pivoting on the ball of our foot?
Yes. And the foot that's moving, Fred, there's contact on the floor. And I think everybody's keeping contact. You know, don't lift up your foot. You always want some contact on the floor. So keep it just slight contact. And if you're practicing on different surfaces, a rug, concrete, even outside with shoes, you have to change the amount of force on the ground there, the moving foot. And it's always good to practice in different surfaces, but you always want to try to keep the moving foot grazing the floor and not lifting up. And that's what we do when we're doing Kiyo-Ido, when we're moving forward or back or to the sides. You know, we don't lift up our foot when we move, we slide on the foot. So this is a good exercise for this one. Yeah, pivot on the ball of the foot. Okay, so let's make this exercise a little more interesting. So what we're going to do is, so you know all the different ways of moving and pivoting. We're going to start off with the right foot, and since the right hip is back, we're going to go counterclockwise. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot, and I'm just stopping for just demonstration position. But then, so pivot, lift, and once you get a little bit better, once you pivot and turn, lift up, kick. Okay, so. Try not to lift up your foot until you actually turn that 90 degrees or 180. So my foot is still on the ground, then lift up. Okay, so what that does is your pivoting foot, your pivot on the ball of the foot, your heel is slightly off, so you can pivot, and then you plant your heel down on the supporting foot. Bang. And the key is to keep that knee forward. Okay, so try it left and right. If you have any questions, just ask me.
Without stopping?
Eventually without stopping,
Right?
but with control. And remember, keep that front knee. It doesn't change. Has anybody tried the 180 or 70 with this way? No more extreme. Okay, so all these exercises is basically to work on your balance and work on that supporting foot and everything. But you can translate this exercise, which what Fred was doing that one class where he did the and then kukomi, right? Or kick, kukomi, right? So you can do that. You can turn just forward kukomi, right? Or turn kukomi afterwards. All these ones. But the main thing is you want to, in this position, you want to be stable. Here you want to be stable. If you can be smooth, stable, right? And then without lifting it, then you know that supporting foot is good. Okay. We're going to make it a little bit interesting. Do the kick first, then pivot. Try that. So kick in the direction you're facing, then pivot.
So that's it, you would bring the foot back round?
You can do it two ways. You can kick, bring your foot back and pivot, or you can kick, pivot.
Right.
See if you can do it both ways in 90 degrees, 180, 270. Leonard, you can try 360. Okay, so normally we don't kick this way. It's just an exercise to work on pivoting, balance, and everything. But this one kicking and turning, especially in this case, normally from here, normally when you're moving your back foot, in this case it's the right foot, and coming up, remember it's your right hip that's helping you turn. But what's happening is your hip is forward already, right? So to turn in the so-called easy way, your hip is forward. It's a little more difficult, I think, because you want that hip to use the turn, not the kick. Okay, but when you retract, if you use your pelvic tilt and pull back, that helps you rotate the other way. Okay, without a kick, with the right leg back, theoretically it's easier to turn counterclockwise. Or, pivoting. So once you do the kick and your hip is out, or you're doing a reverse pelvic tilt, when you pull back, that energy should help you in the other direction. Okay, like I said, it's not the normal way of kicking, but try that. Try, if you're using the hips, try when you pull your hips back to help you turn in the other direction. After you do that, just take a quick break. Okay, good. Maybe just take a break. Any questions? When we take a break, you can ask me.
Sensei,
Yes.
when you put your leg, when you kick from the legs back, do you push down from here, or do you turn first and then push?
Say that one more time. Let me watch you.
Do this and go down from here. Leg goes out, and I just push it down. I'll do it again.
Well, yeah.
That's one.
Yeah. Just for this, you can do both ways, but for this exercise, this is after the kick or?
After the kick, yeah.
What I wanted you to do after the kick, while your hips are still forward, is to pull the hip pelvic tilt into a from a reverse pelvic tilt to a forward pelvic tilt, helping you turn. And then it's just your leg coming back.
Okay.
But you, I mean, you can do it anyway. But in this exercise, I want you to feel that pull back and help you a little bit. It might not be a lot, but you can just a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys sick of pivoting exercises? It's too bad because we're going to do more. Okay, maybe the second half, step it up a bit because my cat is not too impressed. It's not even looking at you guys' techniques. Thinks it's a waste of time, so maybe step it up a bit. Okay, so this first half of the exercise is basically pivoting first and then planting. Okay, just to work on that, the rotation and everything. Now we're going to do it more the way we do it in kata and everything. So in this case, right leg back, normal convention is going counterclockwise, bring your leg in, and turn, pivot. Now, see if I can. So I want to be in this position at the end. So now we're going to do more of the convention where nice slow movement, and like convention, right? And pivot. We still want to make a smooth motion, arc here, and then bang, looking 90 degrees. So I want to turn again, looking here, but then I look here, here. Then you want to do 180 degrees. So normally, that other exercise, we come in, pivot, and we plant. I want to plant there first. So come in straight, just graze the ground, looking this way. Straight, and then try 270, and Lena, try 360. remember, try left and right foot forward. Okay, good. Any questions? Moving the back foot and turning in different directions. Okay, so you want to make it, like I said, the movement to the setup before the turn, you want to make it nice and smooth and fluid. And then if you want to do a strong, quick hip action turn, that's fine. Try not to put too much energy in the actual setup of the turn and moving around. You might want to make it nice and fluid. Okay, I want you to try this exercise, bringing your front foot back and then turning either left or right, either clockwise or counterclockwise, and see if you can find the setup position using hips at the end. Okay, so any questions about pivoting with the front foot and turning for this one? So this is my front foot. I want to go this way. I bring my front foot in. I want to, if I can get into, but not exactly kosayashi. Kosayashi is this way. I don't want to, because my hips are already this way. So if I actually turn this way, I'm adding on the dimension of my upper body. So what you could do is a slight, keep it here and then a little bit, but I'm still, my hips are facing forward. So it's not a good position to be in because you're wide, okay? But if you start doing this and then this, you're doing an extra movement this way and everything. So here, you can get away with it for this one a little bit, but you slide it here, okay? So I'm going this direction, right? Here. If I want to go this direction, and then I pivot, once I turn, my hips are already there in this case, right? If I do this and cross, that's a giant kosayashi. That's really no good. Okay, so in some cases when you're turning, when you bring your foot in, you're automatically in that stance. There's nothing you can do about it. Just, that's the way it is. Okay, so you can't really do too much about it. And if you try to use your hips, what's going to happen is you're in a bad stance. So you don't want to do that. So in this case, when I'm bringing my foot in and I'm turning, I'm already in Senku Sodachi. You have to live with that one, right? But maybe the other direction, you can go slightly in position. Okay. So when you're doing, especially with Taikyoku, Chudan, Ich, a lot of these movements you're doing here. So remember the first movement, I want to face that way. So now, here, position, step forward. I want to do that turn, that foot draws. And you pull in and then bang, nice and smooth. Position. Then this one, smooth. Position. 270-degree turn. The pivot, right? Pivot. Bang. Position. Okay, so Taikyoku Chudan Ich uses basically all of these movements. And you want to be nice and fluid. You don't want to be positioned here and then 1, 2. You want to be here, nice and fluid. Okay, so these exercises will help you in that respect. Any other katas that use these type of movements? You draw it in here. Ooh. So you use that in there in that respect too. So all these movements, you pull it in and then you want to turn, pivot here. You don't do one thing. And turn. Nice, smooth here and position. So all our movements is very fluid until the end. And if we can use hips in the end for a block or a punch or a strike, then it's a lot more powerful. But the first part, you want to make it nice and fluid. Okay, in the beginning, you practice it step by step, you know, here, here, bang. And then later on, it's just one here position. Okay. Taikyo Kubunkai, so, or Saifa. When you step back here, plant, instead of turning already. We bring the back and then plant. Okay. So all this gliding. So all this one that your supporting foot takes all that weight and pivot. The better you are at that, the better these turns are. Any questions? Okay, we'll take a short break then. And if you can stay on for another half hour, that's great. We're going to do a little more advanced type stuff, but if you can't, fine. We'll see you next week then. Okay. Fred, are you okay this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just heard about that game last night. So is it all square? Is it 2-2?
It's 2-1 right now. So
Oh, really? Oh,
to play today. They gotta win today. Otherwise, it'll be tough, I think.
yeah. Well, I thought they were doing 2-2, but oh, it's too bad. I guess that one of the top players there is not having a shooting edge right now. He's a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, Besser's having a tough time. I don't know what's going on with him, but we'll see. We'll see. I think Vegas has always had their number all year, though.
Oh, okay.
I think their record is like 9-0-2 against the Canucks.
Oh, okay. Let's hope they do it today.
Yeah, it's okay. They beat the Blues. I mean, everything else is gravy after the first round.
Yeah. They did better than the Oilers.
Yeah, that was my Edmonton office doesn't even want to talk about hockey right now.
Yeah. So any questions about the pivoting before we head off to other techniques? Okay, so we're going to talk about some a little more advanced hand techniques, but it's all based on basic techniques. Okay, and the thing we're going to be working on is the setup position. This one basically here for Jodan and Chudan. It's basically the same as here. The elbows are in basically one fist away from your ribs position. Okay, we're not out and we're not in position. That's the position. So whenever you're in the setup position, you can actually, and that's what we do in Sanchin, right? We're banging in that position. Okay, same thing as the Socha, right? So it's same type of position here and there. Okay, so maybe do some basic upper block, middle block. You don't have to do it hard, but the main thing is feel that position Feel that position, and you always want to stay in that position. Eh? You don't want to go out or vary it here. And even in the arm position, you don't want to be too far out. You don't want to be in basically true down position. So do a few nice and relaxed. But the key is feel where your elbows are here. Okay, so when we're in this position and where there's contact between your both arms, it's actually at the wrist position. So for this position or this position, it's at this wrist position. And Calvin knows this. I'm not sure if other people, but there's a lot of higher katas that were in this position and doing a lot of techniques, so we're going to work on that. So, but when we're doing kakioke, right? Sweep, bang. Here we are. A wrist are caught. We're pushing, okay? And then, so either be in this position or this position, doesn't matter. But for uchi-oke, remember your elbows are in, it's not this. It's your elbow in and then your hand, and then this one comes, bang, it's locked position. So it's like Judan no Kamae open. So I want you to practice kakioke. Keep that elbow in, and the hand goes past your face, and sweep, bang, stop in this position. Feel where your wrists are locked, and your elbows are in, and then position. Right, so here, sweep, lock, lock. So it's either this way or this way, it doesn't matter, but your elbows are locked, and then bang. So this is a key position here, is right there. Okay, so work on that part. And feel where your elbows are and where your wrists are. Okay, so Danielle, you got good movement here, and then when you finish, instead of your open hand this way, more on an angle, yeah, this way. So it's like your fist is like a middle block. Turn it over and open your hands. Yeah. Same. Yeah. Instead of pulled back. That's it, yeah, slow. So it's a little more, the palms are facing like 45 degrees instead of straight ahead or flat down. It's kind of like 45 degrees down there in this way. Okay, in the same vein, it's same thing, moisture, right? Sweep past your face. Work your lat muscles, stretch them out. Bang, bang. Here, and then turn it over. You're locked 180 degrees. When you rotate, pull in. One, elbow in. Kaki lock. Here, turn, lock, and both in. The key part is here, feel that, and feel your elbow where they are. Okay, so for this one here, right? Protect yourself. Look, then now my hands here. Right? Takyoku kakyoke. From here. Protect your face. This hand's ready. Now, bang. I'm in. Do you know what this block is? If it is a block? We have it this way. We have it this way.
Is it called Jujiuke?
Yeah, Jijuoke. You know what Jijuoke is? Like
Is
the
it,
cross, yeah, blocking.
is it the kanji for Ju, 10?
Yeah, so, but it's a Jijuoke, blocking. So that's what you do. You protect your face to see if there's a strike coming, and then bang. Right. And then, bang. Okay, so try that sequence with the block. You don't have to do the whole kata if you don't want, but just do that motion, but make sure you lock it in place. Okay, it's not at the wrist. And at the Chudan no Kamai position. And it's not low and it's not high. It's right there. Yeah. So do you know this kata, Daniel? Okay, so basically it's like Taikyoku Chudan kata, right? Taikyoku Chudan here, right? And then you step in Zengu Sadachi. So small stance and long stance, similar. So instead of Chudan, okay, Kakyoke. Okay, but it's same, but in Sanjin, small stance. Okay. And then after you block, you're going to do a front kick, and you're going to land in long stance and elbow strike. So instead of a punch, try that, yeah. Kakyoke. And then kick, front kick, and step ahead, long stance, front elbow strike. Yeah, and have this backhand close. Yeah. So that's what it is. So just remember, before you turn and you're looking in that direction, sweep across your face with your right hand. And then, so you're, yeah, that's it. And then front kick, land in long stance, front elbow strike. That's it. So that's Taikyoku Kakyoke-ichi. So you can work on that. Okay, so Taikyoku Moshokichi, right? Same thing. Lock, lock, Jijuoke. Right? And Kakyoke, and then Moshoke. Right? Step ahead. Bang. Taikyoku Moshoke. Right, so protect our face. This hand is here, not low. Together, right? Then Jijuoke, Jijuoke, then Kakyoke, Moshoke, and then strike and plant. Yeah, good. And then land in lower stance, front elbows, roundhouse elbow strike, and have your other hand in front. Yeah, and the same hand that you're striking, back fist. Back fist. Yeah, and then same hand, lower block. And then the backhand reverse punch. Yeah, so you're doing 4 techniques, Danielle. You're doing roundhouse elbow strike, back fist, lower block, and then reverse punch. So 4 techniques. The first 3 are with the lead hand, 1, 2, 3, and the last one. So 1, 2, 3, and then reverse punch. Good, yeah. Okay, so just remember when Gina taught and she was doing Uruch, remember? So in this case, the elbow is low. It's not here, and then you can use the elbow, bang, down, snap. Okay, it's low, but when you block, after you strike, you block, and then it gives you that position to bring your elbow up higher, to be able to come down a little bit. Position. So don't do this and then that. Here, rounding motion. Where else? What other kata do we do that? Sci-fi. Bring it up high. So remember, bang, walk, snap. And in, I think the same thing in Gina class when you're doing high tosh, remember, bring that elbow in. Don't do straight down. Circle, elbow in, just like uchi-uke. Here and then down. Okay, a couple more times in that sequence. So Danielle, this sequence, the 4 techniques, roundhouse elbow strike, back fist, downward block, reverse punch. We call that Yohon Doza. Yon means 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but we have various versions of the 4, so that's one of them, roundhouse elbow strike. So it's coming around. Then back fist, downward block, and reverse punch. But we also have, instead of a roundhouse elbow strike, we have a front elbow strike. Then it's back fist, lower block, same hand, reverse punch. So the only difference is instead of a roundhouse, it's a, okay. And then we have another version from here where it's upward punch. So we punch and then come down, and then back fist, lower block, reverse punch. So it's just the first one is different, roundhouse or front or upper punch. Okay. Do you want to say something, Pachata? Or were you looking, you want to see Alfie or something? No. Okay, so gig side IH, this part, right? Sweep, and when we sweep, we want to turn 45 degrees, and this is where we work on that pivot, right? The pivot position, foot. So when we sweep, we pivot 45 degrees, and then Jujuke. Okay, then when I do Kakyoke and sweep down, this is where my foot goes back towards Zengu Sadachi. And as soon as I plant my Zengu Sadachi, I should be here already, okay, to punch. Okay, so pivot, sweep, here. I'll try to go slower and see if I can get. When I sweep, I pivot already, right? And then when I do kakyoke and sweep back, the foot goes back. And once it's planted, it should be here to ready to strike out. Okay, so you try not to delay it, stop, bang. As soon as you plant the 30% on the back foot, bang, it should go straight in. Okay, but this exercise is this part, right? Juju-oke, not forward, not close. So you feel that in that position. That should be a comfortable position here. This is your strength there to protect yourself. Feel where your elbows are. If your elbows are a little bit out and you don't feel any tension, you're not doing it correctly. You should really squeeze it in. Okay, so Daniel or any of the white belts, I'm going to slowly go up into higher katas. So if you can't follow, it doesn't matter. Just practice what you can. And maybe if you can follow some things, that's fine. But it's the main thing is whatever technique we're doing, it's always coming back into this position and the elbows are in. So you want to always feel that position. Okay. Okay, so Juju-oke position. It's similar. I'm not sure if it's exactly, but right. Ooh, ooh. It's not wide. It's not wide open that way. Here, it's not closed in. Here. Right. Oh, oh. So maybe work on that. And like I said, it's mainly this position you want to work on. Bang, lock yourselves in, keep your elbows in. So in this one here, when you do a Kaishu, Chudan, Gate, Embrai, or open hand, at the setup Juju-oke, your elbows are in, right? So when I do the higher level block, the elbow still stays, bang, right there. Doesn't move. The lower block, obviously the elbow goes out, but bang, the hand is in the same line, bang, right? So this hand takes the place of where this elbow is, bang. So right here. Elbow doesn't come out. The hand doesn't come out. And that's what's bent here. So once you're in this position, that elbow, if you're tight, doesn't change, bang. And then this one, this hand takes the place of where that elbow should be in that position. So it's don't open up this way. Tight, close in that position. Okay. Position. Tension. Step back. And then this goes here, comes like that. Then pull back. So this is similar, but it's a transitory. You don't stay there very long because you want to do this block, but you set up here. So you're not going to go right into here and separation. Protect yourself and then position. So for the white belts, your left foot, 45-degree lower stance. And then when you pull your front, left foot or front foot in, here's front. You pull in and then you want to get into a back stance, because what's going to happen is you want to turn into lower stance 90 degrees. Okay, so here. So you're going from here and then here. So my ball of the front foot, ball of the back foot are in the same line. And then all I do is I don't move my front foot, I pull my back heel in, lower stance 45 degrees. So 45 degrees, lower stance here. And then bang, position. And Randy, when you're doing the archer stance, archer, because it looks like this hand, it's a strike, palm strike to the groin. So you want to be more this way and flat, and you're striking, that's it, Matthew, that way, but straight out. So your elbow and your palm and your fingers are all in the same line. It's not turned. Right? So that's to the groin, or solar plexus with your elbow, and the other hand pulls, you're grabbing, you're pulling the person in. So you really, what this is doing is you're working on the flexibility of your wrist. Right? So same thing if you're doing this exercise. Then, yeah. Okay, continue on. Right here. Did you okay? Right. Answering. So. Here. And same. Right. You're not reaching out. You're not opening up here. You're not doing open. Did you okay? And then hips. And if you can continue on. And see this strike, Randy and Matthew? Same thing, eh? That palm back, just like. And then, did you okay? Not far. Now this one, even though it's a Jodan strike, you're blocking here. So you're far enough away to block it, okay? If the punch is coming really towards you and you're not far enough, obviously you gotta block it this way, but in the cut it's here. So it's same as there. So one more time from here for the lower belts. your right hand chudan okay, left hand out, and then your right hand, there's somebody grabbing your wrist, so you're breaking free. Bang. And then you step back, Juju okay. Okay, right hand over left, and then you're blocking open hand lower block. And you're stepping in, you're coming around. And this hand's ready. And then when this sweeping hand faces in the opposite direction. So as soon as this one faces, it goes straight back, passes each other, out. And then the right hand on the inside sweeps up, Juju okay, bang. So, like I said, white belts don't worry about too much. You can watch other students, but same thing, that's where you're going into. Every time you go here, don't open up. Okay. Other belts, try that. Okay, so we're running out of time, but okay, so no, maybe this way. Similar, right? Even though you're grabbing low, your elbows are in where you should be, because this is your strength, right? So I'm not going too far, I'm not going out. If I need to reach out, I'm going to move my body, but you want those elbows to be here. This is your strength. And you come down. Juju, okay, here. So, same. So it's not on the forearms, it's not on the hands, it's on that wrist, that contact on the wrist. And so here, white belts and maybe some green belts, somebody's trying to grab you in the belt. So you break free and you're grabbing their wrists. Okay, and they're trying to grab you this way. So you break their wrist, or before they grab here, you grab the wrist and then you lock them. So now they're going to be this way and you throw them down. Okay, we're running out of time, so I'm gonna, a few more minutes, have to go. So, Seipai, right? Here, whoa, right there. Don't open up and that way. Come here. Now this feeling, so what you're doing is you're turning your wrist over and you're bang, but now you're still manipulating. Roll it over. Okay. But this feeling, now we're not only doing that or that, now you're rolling over your wrist. And in Calvin, you know the Kurumfa, right? That's the same feeling. So after here, step in. Now, Juju, okay, right? And then you're gonna sweep down with your left hand to block or strike. So Teisho, right? And then Okay, that feeling. This is a critical thing to remember, this one, the feeling of this one. Okay, because it's going to be in higher katas. It's not static. Yeah. Okay. Right? Sochin. Ooh. So here. Did you okay? Did you okay? Right? Did you okay? Did you okay? Did you okay? Right, so Shochin, lots of this. Right. This for you, Calvin. Say something. But you then get them right. Did you okay? Lock. 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 Did you okay? Kakyoke, of course, kakyoke. Bam. Did you okay? Everything here. Let's see. Did you okay? Kurumfa. Did you okay? Did you okay? Kurumfa. Go back. This is the hard part. You got to get your this and this. 1, 2. 1, 3. Putting that in. Say pi. 1, 2. All the Jijuke. But sometimes we have to block here. Right? In this case, it's not regular, but the wrist position. Right? But in most cases, it's here. And that's the feel. You want to feel your elbows are locked in place. Or sorry, not the elbows, but the wrist. Okay, in this position. It's like kakyoke when you block. You're blocking there. You're actually trying to almost pull each other apart. It's locked. Okay, we're running out of time.
Sensei?
Yep.
Really quick, so do you just say that Kurumfa Jijuke is higher than the usual ones?
Yeah, it's here, it's above.
Right.
It's not here. Now, you're pushing up above so you can see through. Yeah. And when you do this one, Kelvin, you make sure when you do this and do this, you don't, there's sometimes people sweep down, but for us, see if I can get the, so at this level, twist, twist, so almost the same level. There may be a little bit of a dip, but not too much. There's other styles, and I have to check with JKF. They might swing down and up to get the momentum, but for us, we try to stay Yeah. The same thing. And that turn, you guys did that turn in at the beginning of class, right? It's all those pivots, right? Okay. This is the classical position here, elbows in. So you got to feel that position, and if you're not there when you're doing Chudan or Jiju-K, if your elbows are out, you're not doing. So keep it in tight. Any questions? Other questions? We're running out of time. Okay, and the pivot and the turns, make sure when you do the pivot without the actual turn, nice and smooth. The slower, the smoother, the harder it is, so it gives you a better workout. And then that turn can be snappy position. Try not to do the setup and the turn the same speed, okay? Because you don't want your opponent to react to this, the first part, quick. You want to be smooth and then quick. Okay, what's a hard beating music group? So like AC/DC, is there any hard? Okay, so the setup of the turn is Enya, think about Enya, and then AC/DC, Enya, AC/DC, right, flowing. Okay, any questions before we go? Okay, escape. Hey. Tagani, hey. Okay, thank you for staying, especially the second half hour. I guess it's a little bit advanced, but the setup is all the same. So.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sensei.
Those 360 turns, Lena.
I have a little bit of carpet burn now.
Oh yeah, you know you're doing it well.
Thank you, Sensei.
Okay, thank you. And we can have this talk. I feel like we're missing somebody.
Today?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Vishnu. Usually Vishnu hangs on later, and
Yeah.
so we should put him in the upper echelon because he always wants to join us afterwards.